Welcome to GURUCAST, the Game Guru podcast for the community, by the community. I am DK Productions, the host of this podcast, and I will talk to various members of the GG universe about GameGuru, GameGuru MAX, FPS creator, and also many other topics. There's always something new to learn, and maybe this will apply to you today, because now it is time to sit back, and I hope you enjoy episode 3 of GuruCast.
Duke 229.
Welcome everyone to GuruCast episode 3. Once again, I am happy to have a long time TG and FPS creator user on this episode. He's from Toronto, Canada. He's been with the community for 16 years, so even 1 year longer than Wolf. He has a background in creating mods for Bethesda games and is well known on the Nexus Mods forum. So we will talk about that also. During his time with GG, he also learned how to program Lua scripts, and he helped a lot of people bringing their ideas to life. Countless times he has been a major help to my game projects, for example. So today, it's my pleasure to welcome T-Bone to this episode. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Awesome. So, we had some technical difficulties today, but
did we ever?
Yeah, at the end it turned out to be the phone that you're talking now.
Yes.
From. And this will be, a bit of a different audio quality this time, but I will do my best to compensate. And yeah, nonetheless, it shall be a very great episode. And I will start with my first encounter with you. That's actually pretty
When was that?
Yeah, that was during the development of Hunted. And I was checking out GameGuru videos on YouTube, and I found a very special video that really caught my attention. And from that video I have recorded a sound, and you will know right away which video it is, and here it comes.
I can't imagine. Oh. Wait, what is that sound? That sounds familiar. Is that... Okay, I think I know. Those are those zombie-looking... Is it those guys in, like, the straitjackets?
Yeah, Insane Asylum
Okay.
Lobotomites
Yeah.
is the video name.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember...
I got worried for a second. I was hearing those sounds. I didn't know if you were playing something or if you were getting sick or something. Because I heard vomiting sounds.
Those sounds are so disgusting. And just imagine the guy who voiced these characters.
Oh, I wonder who did that.
Yeah. I wonder also if he really puked or something like that. That's so it's disgusting. And I remember asking all the time where you got these characters from.
Right.
In the comment section, and if there's a chance I can get my hands on it.
Oh, now I remember. Yeah, that was the first time I think we spoke.
Yeah, and it's so funny because years later, it's like an old hat, and these characters are, they have been around so long, and they've been used so many times in FPS creator games and GameGuru also. So at one point, I added them to Hunted, but removed them again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They were in actually with some kind of chase music also.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but later on I removed those characters. So let's get to you now.
All right.
Not sure about this, but did you start with Dark Basic?
Oh, like how did I get into... Where did I start from? Yeah, Dark Basic would have been the start for sure. It was actually my dad that introduced me to the whole, like, the game creators software. So it would have been Dark Basic Pro, I believe, in early 2000s.
Oh, wow.
I had just finished high school, yeah.
That's cool. Wow.
And I think he also someone mentioned something about magazines and getting like discs from the magazines, and I think
Yeah,
that's
that was
actually how my
Wolf.
dad got it. Yeah, I think that was the same way my dad got it as well, like a demo.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that was my introduction to the game creators community also because trying to find help on how to use certain things, and then I found the forums later. Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
those magazines, promotion things, that was
I
pretty
miss
big.
those worlds.
Yeah, me
I miss
also.
those.
Yeah,
I like
that
the
was
art. I like all the work people put in.
yeah, that was pretty big back in the day.
Yeah. And then I found FPS Creator right after that. I think through the website after I was looking for like help on because I didn't know how to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't actually make anything. I didn't know how to do anything. I think all I did was make like a goblin that spins in the air and hits buildings.
Okay.
So yeah, that's about all I did in Dark Basic Pro. And then with FPS Creator, I think it was around 2005 is when I started using that one.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I didn't really complete anything. I made one game, maybe two actually.
Okay.
One of them was called Bath Salts,
Bath
which
salts. Yeah, I remember the
yeah,
name. I
and I made
read
a
it
trailer
somewhere.
for it,
Ah, okay.
and I got a lot of backlash for that.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
I think that's because it was like a real issue people were dealing with like the real drug called bath salts
Mm-hmm.
at that time. So I decided maybe it's a bad idea not to pursue with that title.
Oh wow.
So I didn't finish that, but I ended up doing one with through college. I did a thesis project, and I used FPS Creator to make a small game in that, and I actually finished that one.
Oh cool.
But again, it's not worthwhile playing it. It's so bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like finding keys, finding artifacts that have historical meaning. I guess I can't remember exactly.
Hmm.
It was called Key Suspect. Hope no one can find it.
Wow. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So that basically answers the next question already. How did you get into FPS Creator? Um,
And that's also how I met everybody through the FPS Creator forums. So like the Game Creator forums, it was once I got into FPS Creator, I met like Bugsy was there, Wolf was there, and those guys were like celebrities to me. So
hmm.
I was like, these guys actually made a game, and that was back when indie games there wasn't many of them. You know, there wasn't many high quality games like that made by small teams or individuals. So
Yeah,
I
it
thought
was
that was really cool. I'm using the same software these guys are using, you know?
it was whole different back then, yeah.
Yeah.
Like today there's not much of an indie scene left, it's just a massive
No.
ocean of games basically.
9-year-olds are making video games.
Yeah.
Like,
And better than me.
yeah.
That's insane,
And they
yeah.
know how to use Unity, and I'm scared of using those programs.
Yeah. So you never used
Intimidating to me.
Unity?
I have, yeah, I have used Unity.
Hmm.
I just, I don't know. It's like there's something about like the way that the game creators make their engines that are so it's more easier to get into.
Yeah, intuitive, yeah.
I always found, and I think that's probably the case for everyone using them. It's not as intimidating, and you could just go in and start building right away.
Yeah, yeah. And it also
There's
takes
nothing that
much
is.
less time, yeah.
Yeah, and it takes a long time, and you can test it and play it, and everything. One button.
Yeah. uh, that's our favorite running gag.
Just push one button,
Yeah, and
and
it
it'll
makes the
make the
game
game
for you.
hold for you.
And then a gunshot right afterwards at the mouse.
Hey, they got me though. Like when I saw, so I remember back in the day when they were talking about FPS Creator 2, it was called. Like in the forums, we were talking about what that would look like, and um, as soon as they mentioned that, then they did the Kickstarter, and
Ah,
that's when I
yeah.
saw that video with the push one button and it'll make the whole game for you. I'm like, okay, here's my money.
Yeah, those
I
videos
want that
still
button.
look really interesting, I think.
Yeah, I think they do a really good job in presentation,
Mm,
and then I think the Kickstarter didn't work out so well, and then we ended up pledging directly to them, I think.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That was like 10 years ago, you know that, right?
yeah, wow.
A long
Even
time
I
ago
have been
now.
in the community for 7 years now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
How much
time.
time has passed.
Yeah, yeah. When did you use GameGuru first?
Game Guru. So that would have been the first day its name was changed to Game Guru. So you know how it was originally FPS Creator Reloaded, and then
Hmm.
switched over to Game Guru. So that would be the first day because I was pledging for the alpha and the highest tier. That's also why I'm one of the more vocal people. It's like, where is everything that we paid for, right?
Yeah, yeah. Rightfully
Because I
so,
did
yeah.
put over, it was like $120 or something.
Oh
So
wow, okay.
yeah,
That's quite
can't
something.
remember exactly the tier. Yeah, you know, it's because we believe in the project and we really want it to succeed and make games. That's what we're all there for, right?
Yeah,
We just want to make games.
absolutely. Um, so
How did you
let's.
like? You were there the first day too. I can't remember when you started.
Yeah, it was in 2016.
Oh, you came a bit later.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I discovered FPS Creator and have used GameGuru the same day then because
Oh wow.
yeah, FPSC didn't work for me at all. Like
Oh really? Oh.
I was getting crashes all the time, and I couldn't get anything done in FPS Creator. So
So you jumped right over
I jumped
FPS
right
Creator
over
10
to yeah,
because it
yeah.
was a 10 in the middle.
I have no
You know,
idea which version it was though.
I bought a laptop specifically for FPS Creator 10
Oh
because it
wow.
only worked on Vista. It was something about the DirectX version.
That
And
it's
as soon
10,
as
yeah.
I bought the laptop, they stopped developing that one. So I was like, oh, okay.
And you went back to the store and refunded your laptop.
No, I actually went back to FPS Creator 9. It was doing so well.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think they took all the good things about 10 and they put it into FPS Creator 9. And then, of course, everything that's going to Max now is in GameGuru Classic. So it's good to keep the old stuff that works and that's good and move it
Yeah.
to the next product, I guess.
But that's because of Cybernessence though. So
Yeah,
we
he's
will
keeping
talk
things
about this
alive
later, the improvements of GameGuru Classic.
for sure.
Let's backpedal again a bit. So we both also have a modding background.
This is true.
I started making mods in 2014.
Wow.
And I mostly made sound and music replacement mods for Fallout 3 and 4 and also for Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. And you have used the Creation Kit engine though.
Yeah, so when Fallout 4, when did this start? So really it started with Fallout 3 and just, you know, just playing around with the engine. I really love that engine, by the way.
Yeah,
It's
I remember
fantastic.
you posting some stuff in the Discord back then, and it was always pretty interesting.
And then when Fallout 4 came out, I was modding for Skyrim as well, and there was a group I was working with doing some stuff there. But when Fallout 4 came out, I decided to get really ambitious and start making a whole city. Uh, Basically, my city. I have Toronto, but in the
Yeah,
future.
yeah. Fallout New
And
Toronto, I think.
yeah, and I tried very hard not to really promote that I was working on it because had a lot of anxiety around what started happening is people like from IGN and all these other places wanted to interview about that project when it
Mm,
wasn't even really very far along. Like, you
mm,
know, I think that's the thing about when you're developing something so big, you get tons of attention towards it, and then it's just a lot of pressure, and it doesn't become as, you know,
yeah,
it becomes more like work at that
yeah,
point.
absolutely, yeah. I tend
And
to keep my stuff secret also when I start.
yeah,
Yeah, Dark
that's a
Skies
good
was
idea.
in development for 6 months before I even announced it.
Yeah, I was always wondering how you're just whipping stuff up out of nowhere. I was like, how are you producing so many things? A lot going on behind the scenes, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, with the creation kit, I made a bunch of mods. They're on the PlayStation, Xbox as well.
Oh, cool.
I
Okay.
yeah, I increased the how do I describe it? Actually, it's called realistic impacts. So
I
it's like
saw
in
that one. Yeah.
Skyrim, it like improves the physics of the game because like I saw artwork. I have like the art book for like Skyrim. And there's like a dragon that can hit the character and make them go in the air, like fly back.
Oh wow,
So I added that to the game.
cool.
And that one got like I don't have the numbers here, but it was tens of thousands of downloads.
Oh, let me check a second.
And
I have the numbers here because I was checking out your page earlier. Oh no,
oh,
I don't.
and there's two.
I didn't save it. Hang on.
Okay. And there's two versions, right? So there's like Skyrim SE, which
Mm-hmm.
is special edition, and then regular Skyrim. So there's like two. But that Fallout mod, Fallout 4 mod, New Ronto was getting way too big, bigger than me. Like, and which was interesting because when I started working on it, nobody was modding yet for Fallout 4 because it had just released, the creation kit had just released. So it was a very small team of us just working on different things and helping each other out. And even Bethesda staff were there to help as well,
Oh
which
wow.
was really cool.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, that was really cool because they want you to succeed because later on they started hiring people from that community to work on, what's it called, the Creation Club?
Yeah, the
Content?
the
Something like that.
paid stuff for
Yeah,
Xbox and
and
stuff.
I was like, hey, that's really cool. But what happens is when you sign the contract, you're not allowed to tell anyone you made anything there. It's like you get no recognition whatsoever. So
Yeah,
I
that's
guess they pay them well, but you want people to know you made something. You put
absolutely,
a lot
yeah.
of work into it.
Funny,
So
funny though. I was thinking about this like yesterday, I think. So, like, what would it be like to work at you know, a big developer studio? And I think one of the most fun aspects of creating stuff in games is to the recognition you get, and the image you build up, sort of, and your artistic style, and all of this gets lost when you're just one link of a
yeah.
giant team.
So yeah, no, I totally agree, and it's also like I got to meet someone that works at Rockstar. His name is Rob Ellsworth. He does like a lot of the motion capture, and he does some programming, level design, and he talked about that a bit. How a lot of those guys will end up making their own projects on the side because they feel like they're no longer, like game developers. They're more like just doing one particular task on a,
Yeah, normal
you know,
employees. Yeah,
helping the machine. Yeah,
yeah.
and they work at crazy hours too. He was
This
talking
also.
about
Yeah.
how they would sleep there and like they're sleeping at work. I'm like, wow,
Wow.
that
Yeah.
that only sounds fun if you're working on your own project to me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
This highly
Because how many
reminds
times
me.
have we yeah.
This highly reminds me of last week, where I made the final content for Dark Skies. I released it last week, and I went into 12 hours per day straight working on the game. So yeah,
Wow.
that's pretty.
So you're on Steam. You're doing the real thing.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right all the time, but there's a lot of ups and downs with this. Yeah. Some
It's
videos
great
you
that
get
you
are really cool, and other ones are not so
yeah.
much.
But you definitely have a skill set. You have the ability to start something and see it through to the end. I always have I've been making demos since 1995. Like, because the first program I ever used was called ZZT.
Okay.
And believe it or not, I actually spoke to Tim Sweeney by email. He didn't know how old I was, but he did respond.
Oh wow.
And that was because ZZT was the first engine of Epic Games.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and anyone listening should look that up sometime. It's like ASCII characters. So it's like basically different letters that look like characters and stuff, and making games out of that in DOS. And so I started using that in like maybe 1997, I would say,
Oh
actually.
wow. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's a long time ago, and I was younger back then. I'm not that old.
So
But no,
yeah.
I've always wanted to just make games, and it wasn't always like back then. It wasn't about. There's no idea if it can sell or even people playing it. Really, it was just the ability to create something. That was a lot of fun. And I think that's what a lot of us do. It's kind of like an art form
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
make
Yeah,
something,
totally. Yeah.
and and then when you find out people can play it, that's even more exciting. Um, You know, one of the engines I bought from the game creators, I'm trying to remember what it's called. There was two of them, but one of them was called, I think, 3D Game Maker.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was. And I don't think you can actually export your game. I can't remember if you can do that or not.
No idea
Yeah, I can't
actually.
remember. And then so there was a lot of engines I was using that didn't allow you to even make a standalone,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just fun to use, just to make something.
Yeah.
But I think FPS Creator and Guru, it's like when you start making things that other people can play and try or help other people make stuff, I think that's a lot of fun. And modding is exactly the same, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you're actually you're basically making a game. You just have a lot more assets in front of you and mechanisms already. So
Yeah, and you also get a lot of
yeah,
recognition. I'm still messaged to this day on the Maxis
yeah.
forums from people who want to use
Oh
my
my God,
music mods for the
wow,
PlayStation and Xbox
that's cool.
modding
I,
site. Yeah.
I can't even I can't keep up with all the messages I got on there. I really can't. There's too much because when I made so many different mods for so many different games, it's hard to keep track out of all those Bethesda games. It's hard to
Mm,
keep track of
yeah,
all the different conversations you're having with each person.
yeah,
And, but you know, it's cool that you can actually give people an improved experience
yeah,
in playing the games that they like. So
yeah. And I've always been using mods for Skyrim and Fallout, and it's
yeah.
these are great games, but the mods really add content and life to a game.
And you're really good at doing that, like with making how would like atmospheres in your games already.
Mm.
So I'm assuming you have like an obsession to detail with like environments and stuff, and so helping with music or things like that or textures and modding, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, thanks. So I just
I'm
checked.
obsessed with detail. Like I'm obsessed with detail. It just takes me so long to implement that in a way that, can become a game, if that
Yeah,
even makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
So I have a million experiments over the years in different engines. It's not just, Game Guru. So,
and a lot of this can be seen on your channel also. Your channel is really
oh God,
interesting. Yeah,
it's bizarre. It's just the same video over and over again. It feels like it's like how many years can you work on one project and one mechanic,
yeah. By the way, I just
Um,
checked your site on Nexus. Your mod Realistic Impacts has 20k downloads, 22.1k.
that the SE version or
Yeah, for Skyrim Special Edition. Yeah,
oh nice. That's pretty
yeah,
good.
cool. So,
I don't even look at it. It just intimidates me too much. Because if like one person writes, "Hey, can you add this or can you do that or fix
yeah,
that or this?" It's like, yeah, but it could take, days, weeks.
yeah. I think my stuff, all of my mods have been downloaded 80,000 times, I think.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's
And they know who did it. That's most
yeah.
important, right?
And a fun fact, by the way, a lot of the soundtrack I made for Fallout 4 and Fallout 3 back in the day, I still
Yeah.
use today as a remix in Dark Skies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
so I'm
So I
reusing my
wonder
own
if
stuff.
people will recognize it. Where's that from? It's familiar.
Yeah,
And they're playing like
the chance
Fallout.
is small, but it's there. Yeah. So let's talk about Creation Kit in more detail. What was your experience working with it like?
Oh, I love it. It's like the perfect. It's funny how people call it the worst engine. The people that play the games
Mm,
that don't do modding call the Creation Kit the worst engine. But it's like the best engine I find because it's you can create like really large worlds and it's able to streamline all of that really fast.
mm,
And so that you can literally create cities or even bigger than that, really. And I think that's a lot of fun to be able to just have no limits in terms of the scale.
Hmm.
And then also the engine has a lot of support around, like this is all based around the whole GameGuru engine. Yeah. And it has like a character creator. It has, you can make items and all these different things. There is some scripting though,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's pretty simple. It's not very hard
What
to figure
scripting
out.
language is Fallout written in?
It's the same one as Skyrim, which is called Papyrus.
Oh wow, okay, never heard that.
Yeah. And if you know Lua, it's actually pretty similar.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
it's not hard to figure out. I find all coding is pretty easy to figure out. It's just once you get into the syntax, that's when it gets difficult. In fact, that's when I stopped modding, was when I started getting into programming. Because the art stuff is lots of fun, but once you start programming, you're like, oh, wait, I'm going to have to keep fixing this forever if people have issues.
Yeah.
So,
What I like about
Yeah,
the
no,
creation kit, what I
yeah.
like about the creation kit is, the LUT system, and not LUT, level of detail, I mean.
Yeah. And it automatically generates that. So,
Yeah, that's really awesome. And the cells system,
yeah, the cells.
cells, yeah, that's also pretty cool.
And
And it's so well optimized. You can, as you said, create humongous landscapes.
I had a really bad computer when I was first using that engine. And yet I was making like massive cities with full of detail with lots of action going on. And
Yeah, with
even
AI,
the editor, it never crashed or anything. It was pretty good.
yeah, with AI and all that stuff in, yeah.
People like to bash Bethesda for their terrible engine, but it's really good, I find.
Yeah.
It's easy to import models, export models. You can add sounds, music, like Yeah, I love it. And even like the ability to create quests and dialogue in lip sync and all that is
Yeah.
really it's fun. It's not that hard to do. It's just time consuming though.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So many people spend their whole lives just making mods. There's a few people I was working with. So if I can name some of the mods of the people I was helping out. I think it was what was it? Skywind? No. Basically all the mods that bring like Oblivion and Morrowind back.
Oh wow, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also the people that were working on what was it called? I'm forgetting the name. But it's like Skyrim, but you can go to the different territories that are within the world of Elder Scrolls.
Uh-huh.
And I was helping them out with that because a lot of these people that are doing all those huge mods were the people I was helping out in the beginning, and now I'm gonna need their help if I ever go back to that because like they're way above me now, and they have massive teams. By the way, they do have teams as much as almost 100.
Wow.
I think it's huge.
Holy crap, yeah.
Yeah. It's not. It really is like a game studio. Some of these
Yeah.
people, and some of them are making games, by the way.
Oh wow.
So they got together through making mods, and now they're making full-on games in Unreal
That's
Engine.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and they invited me, and I stuck around with GameGuru. So, I took the easy route, but
Yeah, that's the choice of every one of us.
yeah, and I'm very confused. There's some users I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I look at Wolf and you, I'm like, Unreal. Why are you guys using Unreal? But really, it comes back down to the fact that when you're using these smaller engines, you don't waste so much time, right?
Yeah.
And you just go right into making something
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
seeing the results immediately. And I think that's really cool because modding, it also takes time to really see those results as well. But yeah, no, I really enjoy it. And I love the terrain editor that's in the creation kit. I love all those things. And that's why over the years when GameGuru was being developed, I was always saying, oh, it's got to look like it should be like this or like that.
Yeah, I
I was so
remember.
used to I didn't know if I was driving people nuts, but I was like, they actually added the different terrain palette. That's exactly what I was asking for.
I
You
remember.
can pick the different terrains.
I remember you
The layers.
posting a video of like a Skyrim recommendation or something like that.
Oh yeah.
The various features, graphical features.
I still have that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
called FPS. What was it called? FPS Creator Reloaded feature requests or something.
Something like that. Yeah, it's still up.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
I saw it.
Yeah, I think it is.
Mhm.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
No, it's
But I
not.
think it's like requesting stuff that's still not there. So, you know,
Yeah.
but a lot of it is over time. Eventually, those things do get added, and that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I remember a few years back, you may have seen this. There was a thread in the GameGuru forum about reshade.
Yes, I didn't know anything about what that is, but I knew it looked good. So,
So you can add various post-processing effects with reshade, and
oh, interesting.
one effect was sort of like an image sharpener. And I was
Wow.
requesting this one on GitHub like years ago, and actually Preben added this to the GameGuru build someday. That was so cool.
You know, that guy is so awesome.
Yeah.
He was the one that introduced me to the whole GitHub and how to, because we couldn't even swim. If you remember, Game Guru starts you with like the land,
Mm,
and then if you sink the land, there's water. But if you
mm,
touch the water, you die.
yeah.
So I was like, why is this the last thing that's being worked on? And then I had to like just jump in, and I didn't even know how to really script at that time, by the way. I was just learning
Yeah.
and just try to figure out how can we make it where we could swim? Because I'd really like it where people stop complaining that they're dying when they're testing our demos.
Yeah.
If they touch the shore of the water, by the beach.
Yeah. They are instantly dead. Yeah.
It's like lava. But no, I can't remember who the other user was. There was someone else that made like the tabs at the top for like changing the color and everything. Someone else did that, and then Preben did the underwater shader,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did the whole swimming part, but I didn't finish it. So Lee just said, just make it where you press space to float. That's what we're.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we'll do that, and then I guess we're coming back to it later.
No.
No. So
Guess what
no, you can't really
happened?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of the thing. It's just good enough, so they move on.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that they allow the community to even contribute at all, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's really cool.
It's still
But
like something like modding also modding the engine.
yeah, honestly, you're right. That's exactly it. Even some of the modders do use GitHub, so they can control like what people are changing, and no one gets lost in that.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a
And
really
it's the
cool
same
system.
thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking about downloading GitHub and actually downloading the source code for GameGuru Classic, but I was like, how involved do I really want to get again?
Yeah.
Because it's all about your time, and it's amazing what Cyber is doing for that engine.
Yeah.
He's keeping it alive, and all of us are able to either finish off our products or not products, but
Make them look much
projects.
better. Yeah. Yeah.
In terms of products, so like, so when you're selling on Steam, does Wolf ever sell his games?
No, not that I know of.
Like
No.
I've never. Oh wow, because
Yeah.
him and Bugsy have made a lot of games, haven't they? Like they've made a lot of finished projects.
Yeah, Bugsy, I'm not sure. I know two or I know three Bugsy games, finished ones. But Wolf has 6 finished games. Yeah.
Look at that, yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably the reason why I stuck around because I saw the things he made in. It was like a horror game, an FPS creator.
Hmm.
It was really cool. Can't remember what it was called. You start off in like I think looked like a hospital or something, or you're
Yeah.
like on a medical table. I don't
Yeah.
know if you remember that one.
Yeah. Could be thanatophobia or euthanasia. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was it, the first one. And
Yeah.
yeah, like so seeing stuff that people can make and playing it, that's really cool. I thought he'd be like off and doing like, big indie stuff now or something bigger.
Yeah.
But I think it's an art form.
I'm not sure. Did you listen to the second episode of GuruCast?
Yeah, I got to finish that one actually.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot
Yeah.
of when it comes to his favorite game engine, you won't believe what
Yeah.
he said. Yeah.
You're not gonna tell me. Okay,
No,
I'll
no,
watch
no. You gotta listen to it
All
yourself.
right.
So, we talked about Lua scripting also a bit. Let's dive
Really?
into this a bit. You started learning Lua and made many scripts, which are, by the way, also available on the store. you've been creating really interesting projects like a dungeon crawler game, which is totally insane
Yeah.
because TG isn't supposed to be an RPG or anything
No,
like
and
that.
that's why, like, if I ever bring up an issue with the engine that is there, and it's a real issue, but that prevents me from like doing something in that project, people are like, that's not what the game. It's not made for making a game like that, and they have all right to say that too.
Yeah.
But I have like this fascination with like those retro games, the older ones.
Mm.
Like even like this third person game I'm making as well. I like the older style stuff. I don't know why that is, but and there's a whole community I found that actually plays those type of games, like those grid movements, like that dungeon crawler one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
There's a whole community for that, and it's small, but it exists. There's people that actually play that, and they've been asking for progress too, by the way. So that's why I've still been poking at it once in a while. But through that, I learned a lot of programming as well. Like I have some programming experience from before, not much, but I found like some of these features we needed for the engine were as simple as just learning Lua and making it yourself.
Mm.
Like a lot of the stuff, actually, most of it could be scripted. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why I learned how, rather than sitting and waiting. You know, people always say, just wait till next year or 2 years, and then it becomes 5 years. You still
Yeah.
can't swim.
Yeah. It's
You know, so I had to take it upon myself to just do it, right? Also, not just for myself, I saw people really having a hard time making their games, and there was this small thing that they needed to do that just there's something so small, and scripting was able to help with that most of the time.
yeah. Like I mentioned in the introduction, you helped me a couple of times also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the binocular script for Dark Skies. That's made by you, and the radiation stuff also.
Oh yeah.
And
I never intended to actually sell scripts in the beginning. It was something that it was the mods who were like suggesting, because I was just working for everybody at one point.
Yeah.
Where everyone's like, "Hey, I need this script. I need this," and it
Yeah.
became like 20 people emailing at the same time. It's only a few years ago. I'm not exaggerating either. I was like, "Wow, what have I gotten myself into?"
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun working on those different things to help them. But I felt like it would have been cool if the game creators were actually, helping out a bit more too,
Yeah.
so that we weren't building all these different workarounds. Basically, is what they were, right?
Yeah. Workarounds, yeah.
But I do enjoy scripting because it's really cool to write something and have it do something in the game. I always find that really cool, and it's not so generic.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because if you just use the engine as is and you just use the stock stuff, and I've tried it too recently, actually. I tried to just use what's there, and you start to realize, oh, I need a little bit more of something unique happening here.
It's like a bland soup.
Yeah.
You need some spice in it,
Yeah, you need to add some spice to it.
Some
And,
personal flavor. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And it's like that for any engine, really, I think.
Yeah.
If you look at Unity and Unreal, people always say, oh, that's an acid swap. That's
Acid
if
flip.
anything's familiar,
Yeah.
acid flip, yeah.
Yeah.
So anything's familiar,
Yeah.
they say that word. So yeah.
I'm
and I
actually
think
glad
GameGuru,
this doesn't
Yep.
apply to GameGuru only, so we have acid
but it
flips
applies-
from all kind of engines now.
I think it's different. Like GameGuru Classic's more of that's GameGuru Classic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they say. It's like that's a GameGuru Classic game. The same soldiers, zombies, the sound effects.
The same HUD. Yeah.
I noticed you changed the sound effects actually, right?
Every sound effect. There's not a single
That's amazing.
stock sound effect in Dark Skies, by the way. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what makes your games look unidentifiable to GameGuru.
To some degree, yeah. Yeah.
To some degree, yeah. It's the visuals, right?
Yeah.
The visuals are actually pretty good too, though. I don't know how you how you do that. I guess you create your own foliage and skyboxes.
Yeah, skyboxes I drew myself also for Dark Skies. And I made many vegetation assets. I sell a part of them on the store also. And yeah, I mix stuff together very well, I think. You know, some of
Yeah,
the
you do.
vegetation is even stock vegetation, but sort
Oh,
of
really?
like unrecognizable, yeah.
And the way you're able to adjust the lighting and the color of the scenes, even before we had LUTs.
Yeah. But the LUTs are really, a great way to further enhance the image, yeah. I'm really thankful to Cybernescence for all the
Yeah,
additions, yeah.
I'm definitely gonna jump back into Classic and try all that stuff out a bit more because there's so much more stuff added. Like we can animate textures now where you can switch between them.
Yeah, you have
And that's
basically
something
video
we
textures,
had.
yeah.
I think we had that in FPS Creator at one point, I believe. Not the video textures, or maybe we did, but the ability to change
Mm-hmm.
the textures. Um, that has so much usage.
Yeah,
Like, there's so many different things you can do with that.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's kind of a bit like in terms of scripting. I think it's something I really do enjoy. It's fun. I do enjoy it, but it becomes kind of like work
Yeah,
after a while
yeah.
because everyone wants that little extra thing. I'm kind of shocked they're going with that direction still in Max, to be honest. I know I'm a scripting guy, but um, I concerned that it might be too dependent on scripts again, if that makes sense. Like
Mm.
I know they've added behaviors
Yeah,
and
I think it's really cool. It's
um,
much easier for people now
I
with GameGuru MAX to customize
yeah,
their project, I
that's
think.
something I've always wanted the behaviors in Classic years ago,
Mm.
which meant not behaviors but like dynamic Lua where you can script something and then no one has to open your script to change the values or
Mm.
something. They could actually just do it right in the interface.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how like Unity works as well. My brother actually does game development and he uses Unity and he builds systems for people as well.
That's cool.
So yeah, I always thought about making a game with him, but he's always so busy.
Okay, just like you are
Yeah,
always very busy.
yeah, I actually am. I don't talk about that too much, but
Yeah,
I'm always working.
yeah. So,
And like,
what advice would you give to someone who is new and wants to learn how to write scripts in Lua?
I think the approach would be the same for any program, like for any programming language. I think first of all, I think you have to have a little bit of a desire for it,
Yeah.
or the desire for the results, because you need something that will drive you
Mm-hmm.
to actually get it working. Because you will, in the beginning, when you're learning, you're going to encounter so many syntax issues that don't make any sense to you as to why it's not working.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the best way to learn, like, I think the website's called lua.org. Like, it has all the different syntax there.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're going to be using GameGuru, you just look at the global.lua script
Yeah.
within the script bank, and it's got all the commands you can reference from there and just play around with it. It's basically no different than like playing with the terrain, right? It's
Yeah.
like play with something and see the results and see what works.
You
I
know,
think that can be a lot of fun.
yeah, even I, as a total scripting noob, have been using the global.lua many, many times.
There you
At
go.
least you gotta start somewhere. And
Yeah.
I remember for, last week I made a script for Dark Skies. Really a simple one. Like, I wanted to move a decal up. It was for the final scene, yeah, I won't spoil any.
Hey!
I didn't say anything. How
I
dare
still haven't
I?
played it yet.
Yeah. And the global.lua is really, really useful. Yeah, even
All
for
right.
total noobs like me.
Yeah, I'm a noob too, if you think about it. Like, it wasn't that long ago. It was a couple years ago. So I think it just shows like how good. I remember when Lee first asked everybody, "Do you guys want FPI?" Which was like the old scripting
Language, yeah, for
from
FPS creator.
FPS Creator,
Yeah,
and they're like, "Or do you want something else?" I think they were. He was talking about. I don't know if it was C Sharp or Lua, and everyone was like voting for scripting, and I was against it. Like I think I was against Lua. I was like, "No, I don't know how to script. I don't want to do that.
yeah,
Hell no!" And then I realized that it's powerful.
totally, yeah,
Like you can create your own HUDs. You can create your own in-game cinematics. Look what AE is doing, you know? And
Cineguru is
what
very cool. Yeah,
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 like people are making their own. Like it looks like how should I say it? Like looks like an actual game
Yeah.
when they're adding more scripts to their stuff. So
Yeah.
or like your games where you're able to get almost like quest logs or missions, and you hear audio and people talking and text is appearing on the screen, or and there's quest markers and such.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dark Skies
it's
wouldn't be worth much without scripting, actually.
yeah. So I think it plays an important role in game development in general. There's a lot of people that talk about making their first game and how they wish they knew how to script,
Yeah.
and then they become scripters, and then they start making games for Nintendo Switch.
So besides scripting, you also make 3D models.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't even talk about that, but maybe not to anyone. I went to school for that actually.
Oh wow, okay. No, I didn't know that.
It was intimidating at first too, because it is really intimidating when you look at a screen and you're like, I don't know. Like if you ever opened Blender for the first time, it's really intimidating.
It's still for me today like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to George Brown College in Toronto it was like an intro to 3D modeling, and they talked about shaders and everything too, which was really cool. And the application of it for video games. So it wasn't just like 3D modeling, in general, was more towards game development. And
that's awesome.
So basically it was 3D Studio Max we were learning. And so that's the program I use.
Oh, okay.
And then I took a huge break after that. And then I realized, you could import your own models. I could actually open that program that I have from college still.
Awesome.
Because it's expensive,
Yeah. I wish I had
so,
this kind of stuff around my area. I don't have any
like
of this here.
Oh, yeah. They can be expensive, but I think... it's funny, though, but now, like, there's so much YouTube tutorials.
Yeah, that also. I was using Unity once, and I got around only by tutorials at the beginning, yeah. I think the guy who made those tutorials stopped in the meantime, but...
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Bracky?
Bracky, yeah. Brackies or something.
You did the same thing. You wanted to jump over to Unity, eh?
Yeah, at one point, yeah. It was...
Tried to run away.
No, not run away, but, scouting the area, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. No, I did the same thing, and I was following some of those, and again, it's kind of intimidating. I might try it again sometime, but yeah, no, I learned 3D modeling very basic in college. It was basically like an elective or like an optional course on top of like doing stuff for TV and graphic design.
Cool.
And so I still do 3D modeling, and I enjoy it as well. I'm not very good. There's some really good 3D modelers in the community, and animators too. Yeah, and I learned from them too. Like, it's unfortunate. I think the one guy that actually inspired me to go to college for that, he passed away recently.
Cosmic Prophet.
Yes, and he was someone I spoke to a lot on the forums, and he was making 3D models, and I was like, I really want to learn how to do this, and that's the guy basically that got me into it. So that's unfortunate to hear he had passed away.
Absolutely, yeah. I didn't know him personally, but there are still assets of his in my in Taipei contract. I have like something from him in it, and maybe Dark Skies also. Yeah, it's really sad to learn of the passing of someone from the community.
And so his I think I still have a whole hard drive of just his stuff. So
wow.
It's like from FPS Creator. It's interesting how generous some of these people can be in the community. They just create so much stuff, and they just give it out.
Absolutely.
It's really amazing, and everybody does that, and it's really cool. It's like everyone's working to help each other out.
Absolutely, yeah. It's such a creative environment.
Yeah, I love it. And that's why it's kind of hard to walk away and use the big engines everyone talks about, because it's kind of, you're lost, right? You go to those forums and it's kind of intimidating. No one knows you, and
it's from going to the village you grow up in and from to the massive town,
big city.
Nobody. Yeah. Absolutely.
and so you're like starting from scratch, and um, maybe people don't want to help you out because you're a newbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy 3D modeling. I like attaching scripts to it too, so it does things. It doesn't just sit there.
Yeah.
And I think that's a kind of a cool thing where you can have those two things working together.
Yeah. That's really
And
cool. Yeah.
so I'm working on some stuff for
Yeah.
that.
Flying helicopter. Yeah.
Yeah,
All these nice things.
I did a test of like a whole city, but it was a
Yeah.
disaster though.
But
Actually,
it's
that
so
video is on
funny. I love that video.
There's like planes flying by, birds flying by,
Yeah.
cars driving by, and flying somehow. I don't know how that's happening.
Floating.
People walking into poles.
Yeah, but
See, I got lots to learn still in terms of scripting.
yeah. But it's
But
so cool
it's all fun.
to look at these things.
Yeah. And I think people that want to get into like whether it's scripting or 3D modeling, you could just start with just look at some tutorials or what other people have done. As long as you can look at the source of what someone's done, you can learn a lot.
Yeah, start with the small things. Yeah.
I learned a lot from Smallgy and Moses.
Hmm.
And on the forums, they have all, they show all their different things that they could do with scripting. Because I didn't know how to script when I first came, obviously. So seeing what other people were doing, I was like, oh, that's how that works. Okay.
Yeah.
And then going from there, and then, yeah.
So let's talk about GameGuru Classic for a second.
Okay. I know I'm jumping all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. The listener will have to agree with this. They don't have a choice. Other than to switch off, of course. So, thanks to Lee, he made GameGuru Classic 64-bit last year. And Cybernescence editions, we have had many, many improvements last year. So what's your opinion on the current state of GameGuru Classic?
Oh, that's actually a really good question, especially now, like right now. Yeah, that's a good question because with Max, Max is being developed and it's obviously like the next step. But there's stuff that Cyber's adding that's not there in Max, and I'm just like, wow,
Yeah.
this guy, he's pumping out stuff, and I know he's using that sort of stuff for his personal engine. I think for his cogwheel. I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure
that's where some of it's coming from.
Yeah, totally. But
I think so, right?
I'm not sure he's still using that engine. I think he switched to Unreal.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the stuff that he's made, it's like, man, it keeps inspiring me. Like sometimes I kind of wait for things to sort of die off, and I'm like, okay, I'll move on to the next thing, But then when you keep adding stuff to it,
Yeah.
it's like, it's amazing. Like 64-bit, like we had so much issues with memory.
And that's gone, yeah.
And that's actually one of the biggest issues with FPS Creator was you couldn't have more than 5 levels, really.
Yeah.
And you're with GameGuru Classic, rather, there was a lot of issues with that. I guess you experienced it more than others, right? Because you made a full game.
Yeah, and even, Wolf's older games, they had this issue where the third level didn't load at all, or many assets were missing. I had this with Cold Contract, where many assets were also missing, in the second level. And it's so frustrating, and it's so cool to see all of this gone. I saw a video of Dark Skies, the full game walkthrough, like a 3-hour or 4-hour video with no single crash.
That's amazing. I think the very first GameGuru game I played was yours. It was one step too far.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And I think I live streamed that. I wonder if that's still there on my channel. Or maybe I hid it out of embarrassment. I'll have to look because I'm terrible at playing games, by the way. I love how games are made, but when I play games, I'm just a terrible player. I'm not very good.
I saw that. Like you were playing Fallout 4 for... you were streaming Fallout 4. Yeah. I was typing in all the time, do this, do that.
I can't aim for shit.
Yeah.
But like when I was playing your game, I didn't know anything about it, right? So it's like as soon as I'm stepping out, there's like gunshots going off.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? I don't even have a gun. Like who's shooting at me?
That was something I added
It
to
was
punish.
scary.
Yeah, yeah, you were really spooked in this moment. Yeah, as I know the moment still. Yeah, I added
Nothing's
this
more haunted and scary than someone with a gun you can't see.
out of the dark. No idea where he's from, where he's at, and I added this to punish players that were, walking off the path.
It's
So
amazing.
yeah, I
And
don't
you were
know.
able to make that game really early on. Like that was like one of the early versions of Game Guru.
Yeah, yeah. It was one of those
And
versions where you placed 20 trees and
yeah.
you already were down to 30 FPS. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's what I bring it up. I started noticing issues when you start going to different levels. It could crash, freeze, or just take really long.
Mm,
And I guess that's part of the 32-bit constraint, right?
yeah.
So now we have all this extra room. And yeah, I don't know why Lee did that. So I was like, oh, they're going to add more stuff to Classic.
So I can answer your question probably. Not fully maybe, but I was talking to Lee and TGC in general a lot over the years, and especially much over the last year. And I brought these topics up again and again also. And I'm not saying this is my achievement or anything, but it's certainly helped getting the connection done between Cyber and Lee, for example, or I really let them know what the community thinks of their products.
Right?
In a,
Is
in
that
a, in a sometimes brutally honest way. And this really got me to get TGC as a whole, to know better. And it was really cool also. I've talked to Dash, Deborah Escott Jones, a lot over the last year, and it's been really cool to see where this has led GameGuru Classic now.
it's amazing? Because I think having games made with your engine is really important.
Good
Or
games.
else,
Yeah.
because how are you going to sell something that you say you can make a game and then the people that made the game are complaining or
Yeah.
something's not working or yeah, no, that's really cool that they listen to the community like this.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that they don't get enough credit for. They do listen. Like I know it can be easy to criticize them when they disappear for 6 months because they got to work on something else that they've started too. And then it's because we're passionate about it. That's why we
Yeah,
complain, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
We really want their product to succeed because it'll help us play around, right? It's
Yeah.
like um, I think the only thing that bothers me is like the people that join the community like 4 days later and they're like, I want to upload my game to Steam. It's like,
Yeah.
who are you? Like, no,
Who
that's
are
not.
you? Yeah.
Yeah. And at
Absolutely.
least show us what you could do, and then they do show you, and it's like, oh my god, is that a medieval sword? And there's a soldier there with a with a gun, and the theme doesn't make sense. And
Yeah. It's like completely cobbled together randomly. Like, yeah. Yeah.
I think there was a guy that uploaded just intentional like bad games
Castle.
to Steam.
Yeah.
You're thinking of that one, the
Castle
Castle
Griffinstead.
Griffinstein. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
By the way, did you see our contests last year? The GameGuru
I haven't
contest?
played them. So that's, I guess, yeah. I saw the contest, but I didn't play any of the games.
Okay.
I saw there was an episode 2 of Castle Wolfenstein, or what's it called?
Castle
Griffinstein?
Griffinstead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that you that did that?
No. The original game was made by someone on YouTube, but
But the second one,
the second
that
one,
was
Mbe did. He took the concept and made a whole game series now out of it. Later installments,
That's
he made an Unreal Engine also.
oh my god!
If
what?
you find some time, you gotta watch these contests,
Oh my
man.
god!
It's been,
God.
the one of the highlights last year for me have been those contests. They've been an absolute blast, yeah.
Looks like you guys are having a lot of fun. I should join someday.
Yeah, totally.
Actually,
Yeah.
would you say like that's how you're able to finish games by doing like game jams and
It
contests?
certainly helps a lot, yeah. It's, every time you learn something. I was making one game where you had a knight follow you around and help you fight the zombies or something like that. And I actually reused that script in Dark Skies in the level 16 it was, yeah. And there are so many things I learned during this small side projects that somehow influence my later work. It's so valuable, doing these small games, and you learn something new every time.
I noticed the people that are able to do those smaller games, like even just for fun or for contests, like they're the ones able to finish bigger projects.
Yeah.
So I think for anyone listening, they should probably join some of those contests
Absolutely,
if they want to learn how to make games, because I think part of making a game is finishing a game,
Yeah.
or else you just have a lot of us are guilty of this, where we have screenshots and little test videos for years, and
Yeah.
it doesn't look like there's progress from the outside.
Do you
And there
remember?
really isn't if you're not finishing it, right?
Yeah. Do you remember Demonic Sill or whatever his name was?
Oh my God. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I was going to ask about that, like what you thought, because I think it was Bugsy mentioned he thought it was so like good,
Yeah.
like these demos this guy was making in like FPS Creator Reloaded. So it's like right before it became Game Guru. It was too early on, and Bugsy's like, it's got to be fake. Did TC
Yeah.
did the game creators hire somebody and like make fake videos of a fake
I remember these comments. Yeah. Oh
Just to get-
my.
And
Oh
I was
wow.
like, hey, babe, I wonder if that's true.
Yeah.
But no, I realized this guy was just really good at, I guess, 3D modeling and scripting,
Yeah.
because he had like so much creativity and didn't look like Game Guru.
Yeah. But
Didn't have the HUD on it.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of that game. There was two of them he made.
Space Losers, I think.
Space Losers was the second one, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a first one. But either way, they look so good. Like it looked like a Unity game,
Yeah, totally. It was
like
even,
a high quality. Yeah,
he was using this low poly look even before it was
Yeah.
popular.
that's right.
Nowadays every third game has this low poly look, and I can't see it anymore. But back then this was really original. Yeah,
Wow.
and
Yeah, I think
but sadly,
that was.
Demonic Cell, or however it's pronounced, he vanished years ago. We never
Yeah,
saw
that's
him again.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
And I know he wrote a couple reasons why, right? I think was it the constraints at the time, I think.
Oh, so there was a statement?
Yeah, he wrote something. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. I don't know if it was the load times. There was one specific thing I remember him writing about, and then that was it.
Okay.
It might have been the load times.
Oh wow, okay. I don't.
Yeah, we'll have to go back on the forums and look.
Mm,
And I can't remember if that was from Discord either, because when
no.
we first launched the Discord, I invited him actually, and I can't remember if he joined or not.
Ah, okay. Could be that he's
Was-
there. Yeah.
It was a small list of people that we invited in the beginning.
I think I was there too.
That's a whole topic too. It's
Yeah.
like building another. It's basically kind of building the same community, but strengthening that small part of the community of
Absolutely.
creators.
Yeah. Really.
And
Enhancing
because it was
that
getting
core.
really toxic. Yeah, it was getting really toxic on the forums. A lot of people just complaining, and we were all doing that probably too. But just having a place where we can all share our ideas and help each other make games, that was really important, I think. And that's how the Discord originally formed,
Yeah.
which is now the official Discord
Yeah.
for the Game Guru Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
there's
still
like
admin there?
500 people there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know for how long, because I gave it officially to the game creators. I think that was because they were going to promote Max. I think.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember, but
Yeah,
at one
me
point in
neither.
time they asked. At one point in time they asked for it, and I was like, okay, I guess so. A lot of people were mad at me for it, but it was actually a good call, I think, because then it made it more official. And
Yeah.
and then you get Lee and Rick actually in the chat, which is really awesome.
Yeah, not often,
That's
but
really cool.
sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah, I wish it was more, but they're busy.
yeah, yeah. I would rather like Lee to be working on GameGuru MAX or Classic than be in the chat.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because you remember he used to do a blog, and I remember he used to like post. I think it was weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
It was like a blogger, I think, and it would show every single thing he was working on. Like he made so many different versions of the construction kit too.
Yeah,
Right, so much conceptualized, so many different versions.
yeah.
Um,
So much history going on.
yeah,
You
there's a
know,
lot. Yeah,
so much stuff
and it's
happening over the years. Wow. I keep
yeah,
forgetting, but the day when the EBE came out, that was pretty cool also.
oh yeah,
Everyone was playing around with it.
yeah. It was tough because if you weren't used to FPS Creator, that was a big jump,
Mm.
but also was a little bit harder to use. Because the FPS Creator was like perfect for building indoor levels.
Yeah, yeah.
You just draw, and but the EB had basically allowed you to build on top of terrain, so
That's
that was
cool,
really
yeah.
cool. It was
Yeah.
much needed.
Yeah.
And you use that, right?
Yeah, in Dark Skies, by the way.
Oh, there you
Also,
go.
yeah. Yeah. But not as frequently. I made even an entire game in EBE. I think it was
Wow.
Schweinemann 1 for the
Oh.
contest, It was a stupid little horror game. Really funny one. And
That's
yeah.
cool.
So, speaking
That's
about small projects, do you remember the Slender Man game you did?
Oh, that.
That I remember there being a really creepy bug where the
Hey,
Slender Man was
I think.
always glitching to a tree or something.
Oh
That
yeah,
was so
that I wonder
scary.
that had something to do with that memory issue, I think,
Ah, yeah.
because it had a lot of polys, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There was something off with it. Yeah, that was scary. The glitch itself was scary. I think it became a tree
Yeah,
at
yeah,
some
yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And that was, and it was scary because I'm playing it. Like I'm actually recording the game. I'm like, okay, where is Slender Man? Why is he up in the trees? Why is he a tree now?
yeah.
Actually, game was finished. I should have released that actually.
Oh my. Okay. Why didn't you?
Yeah, it uses all the mechanics of the actual first Slenderman game, the
Oh,
eight
cool.
pages,
Yeah, yeah,
and they also released that script so people can use it as well,
yeah,
where you collect the different pages and you can make more aggression towards the enemy,
yeah.
and then
Now
when you
that I
collect the
think of
final one,
it,
you win.
when talking about Slenderman games, Bugsy and
Yeah.
someone else, they did the
Oh
the whole
yeah, yeah.
Slenderman Shadow series.
That's right. And you know what's funny? I didn't know that was them, and I don't think I even knew that was FPS Creator.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
remember
I was
I
totally blown
watched,
away when I found out this was made in FPS Creator. Holy shit.
and that was really popular because there was no licensing on it at that
Yeah,
time,
yeah, yeah.
and
And
there weren't too many Slenderman games either. So it was almost
absolutely,
like an
yeah.
official. I thought that was an official. Was it official? I guess it was an official Slenderman game, and it was made by members of her community in the engine that we were using.
Totally
That's really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. And they made quite a lot of money of that also, yeah. Everyone was
Right? It
playing
was.
that.
I forgot they actually sold that one.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's awesome, yeah. Pretty insane.
So I guess I have made some games. I just got to finish them.
Yeah.
So I did. I made a Slenderman clone, but I just never released it. So I think I'm just that guy that just consistently makes demos, never finishes.
Yeah, but I think they only need to, they need that final touch and it's done.
Yeah.
One of the fun parts also of releasing a game is, making the art and the advertisement stuff.
Right.
Like it's really cool to add a new game to itch.io, for example, and making trailers and all that stuff. That's also a learning experience. You can get better in this.
I've helped people do that, so I've done that part of it for other people.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
and that part is sometimes a lot of fun, but then you realize they didn't release the game.
Oh.
Yeah, jeez.
Okay.
Some I've helped, just for fun, and others literally said, "Oh, we'll pay you this amount to do it," and they're not always like Game Guru. Like this is like Unity, and they just never released their game. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think people are getting stuck in the whole idea of what a game is and how it's released, and they're always thinking about Steam and all this,
Yeah.
and they're missing out on the fun of it.
Absolutely.
I guess.
Those indie platforms like itch.io and ModDB and stuff, they are really
Those are
cool,
good.
The community is really
Yeah.
great. You get to watch
Wolfie's-
people play your games on YouTube, for example, which is
Yeah.
totally awesome. And sometimes you even get feedback and, sharing that stuff, get other people's
remember
opinions
you-
is always a fun part.
You would get so mad when people would criticize your game. I remember there was a guy playing. Was he playing Dark Skies? I can't remember what he was playing. And there was a guy running really fast, like one of the AI.
Yeah. That was a big fry, really.
That
Yeah.
weird bug.
Yeah, wow. This video has costed me a lot of my hair.
Oh no! And then I noticed that bug is still there in the engine.
Yeah, but
I would-
in my game it's gone now. Yeah,
Oh, awesome! Whatever you did, you gotta send that over.
I paid someone to fix the AI.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Because I was like, man, I'm just gonna use the stock, stock scripts, the stock assets, and try making a game. And I was like, what is going on with that soldier? He's like crouching down low and running really fast,
Yeah.
but not going very fast.
Yeah,
Some weird bug. But when I saw that in your game, I was like, wow.
yeah,
Glad to hear you fixed it, though.
yeah.
That's cool.
Some bugs are also appearing when the game is running. In comparison, rather slow. The levels I have in my game are always, very detailed, and some of them are really huge. And
Right.
the AI somehow is dependent on the frame rate also.
Oh, right. I heard about that.
The lower the frame rate, the worse the AI gets.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's
Oh,
also an issue in other games, by the way. And also games made with the creation kit, Fallout 4, for example.
yeah.
You can't have a too high of a frame rate because that will
No.
break the game at some point.
Well, I never have a good enough computer to have a good frame rate. So,
Oh, then it's
so I'll
high
never
time for
experience
you.
this.
It's high time to get a new PC.
Yeah, especially now since we didn't tell anyone, but as we were testing out this whole podcast for testing sound, my computer died.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that fixed, or else I will never be able to make games again.
Oh my. I hope you can fix it, yeah. So, from FPS creator and all the GameGuru classic stuff, let's dive into the present. Let's talk about GameGuru MAX. So,
Okay.
when I wrote the script, I wrote down that this is an unpleasant topic. And so far, the
Oh.
opinions of my guests have been very similar, but no longer. I am using GameGuru MAX as well now. And I'm having
I
a
was
blast,
shocked.
actually.
No, that's great to hear. When I saw the video, I was like, "Oh my god, he's actually doing it. He's using Max."
Yeah.
I had to read the title twice. I'm like, did he type Max by accident? Oh no, he's actually using GameGuru Max.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good to hear because as you're able to talk directly with the game creators in some manner, right? So it's good to be able to have some input that is heard, right, into the development of the next engine. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm really
for
happy
me,
to be in that position now where,
Yeah,
Dark Skies
it's-
is done. I'm no longer forced to use GameGuru Classic, I don't have
Exactly.
an ongoing project, besides Taipei contract, but Taipei was never.
yeah, like for me, like I have so many projects in Classic that I'd have to start on a new one if I go to Max right away. And I have tried to port them over, and there are issues with doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
The direction, how do I think about Max? I guess is the question.
Yeah, exactly. Let me finish the question. So, what about you? How long did you use Max, and what was your experience like for you?
Okay, well, in the beginning, I told myself I'm going to let it just. Um, I wasn't going to use it basically
Mm,
because it didn't make sense to use something they were just releasing for the first time
mm,
and try to like be creative and make something with it. Because basically, you're just doing QA testing at that point,
yeah,
you know, and you're just going to give yourself headaches trying to make something when they could just change the entire system where, that just might not work. So I can't remember how many months I gave it. I gave it a long period of time.
mm,
And then when I jumped into it, um, I really like the dynamic Lua. I'm obsessed with that. Like I really like that because it's not just for writing scripts for people to use or something like that. It's really for me where if you write a script, you want to be able to use it and just change the settings within the editor.
mm.
Like even as someone that scripts, you want to be able to do that. And the visuals are really nice. There
Yeah,
is some,
partially, yeah. For indoors,
yeah,
you can make amazing scenes.
yeah,
Outdoor areas, they need a lot of work. The trees and the terrain still. I'm standing with my
yeah. That's
opinion,
exactly.
but
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It
yeah,
was because the first thing I saw was trees, and I was like, "There's something weird. They're like glowing, or they're
yeah,
it, you know what? It's really hard for me to describe why it doesn't look um like there's something about it that looks off.
yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's kind of hard to describe. It's not that maybe it's pixelated, or I don't.
Pixelated,
I
yeah,
have no
yeah.
idea. I'll have to check it out again and see. But there's something that they have to improve. I think maybe they have the passes in the wrong order or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Like
what
where the
Max is totally missing is a depth of field effect.
maybe that's it too. Maybe it's because there's the things in the distance are of the same detail, I guess, as the
Yeah,
foreground.
yeah,
I mean, they're different LODs, I'm sure, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's something off. I don't know what it is. There's something doesn't that somehow looks okay in classic though,
Mm,
in some ways.
yeah. It's so funny that you say this the same way as the others did it well as well.
Oh, really? Like in
Yeah,
terms of
I
the
talked
outdoor
to
environment, or
yeah no about the strange look. Something is off with
oh,
GameGuru MAX. I was talking to
yeah.
Avenging Eagle for his documentary, and he had the same opinion. Wolf said the same. C Forever or 8 said the same, and many others as well. Ghost Law, all these guys who are familiar with GameGuru MAX, they all said the same.
But you're right. Like the indoors look amazing, like
Yeah.
really good. I think you made the first demo, right? Or you were part of that?
Yeah, Lee, I think, started it, the seller demo.
That was
But
really
at
cool.
one point down the road,
Yeah.
I offered my services, so to speak. So I
Yeah.
finished this level. Yeah, it's not huge, but
Yeah, that
I
looks
think it's a start. Yeah.
like the reflective puddles, the way that the I guess it's ray casting. All the lighting is really
Mm-hmm.
nice. The
Yeah.
illuminations are nice. I really love how it renders, but there's something off about the outside. Um, I don't know what it is. Like I made a outside that was like dark and nighttime,
Mm-hmm.
and the trees looked. It almost looked like they were glowing, but you can change that. But it still looked off. I can't describe it. It's like I guess everyone's feeling the same way, so I
Yeah.
guess they'll eventually figure it out
Yeah, I
as
think
to
so
what
too.
the issue is.
I am very sure that this
But
is not unfixable.
yeah, and then second would be my computer. It's not the best, so to use Max, it requires a lot more better hardware.
Mm.
So like I can use Unreal and Unity, and I have no problems in using those, but with Max, it can sometimes have a hard time, especially when I'm looking at the library, the entities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It'll freeze. Like
Yeah.
it'll
But for
lock
me
up,
also.
freeze, load.
Mm.
Oh wow! And you
Yeah.
have a pretty decent machine.
Yeah. Yeah. Max is really
Wow.
hungry. Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of areas for improvement, and especially like maybe it's loading all those 3D models of all the entities in that library at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I'm sure they're aware of it though, so I
Yeah.
guess they'll eventually fix those small issues. But in terms of the engine itself, there's a lot of different steps to get to jumping into the map and making the map, I guess.
Yeah. A lot more steps
And
than
that's
usual, yeah.
yeah,
Than
and that was
before.
the advantage of Classic
Mm,
because FPS Creator did not have a terrain editor at all,
mm.
you know. So when Classic came out, I was like, wow, you could just jump in and start building, your map. Oh, but you can't do indoors. So it was like a trade-off. And
Yeah.
then you could do the EBE, what was it called? EBE?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when that came out, you could suddenly do indoors. So I think with Max, it's they've improved the grid system. So I prefer to use entities to build indoor levels
Yeah,
myself,
absolutely. Yeah.
and that's exactly how it works in the creation kit. As
Mm-hmm.
long as you're snapping and using the correct grid, and
Mm-hmm.
you can actually do that in Max.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually really cool.
In
And I
classic
don't
as
think
well, by the way.
right, and with Classic as well. Though you can see my struggles when you start doing different heights.
Mm-hmm.
It's really difficult to do that
Yeah, true. Yeah.
unless you're using, yeah, like it doesn't snap very well from the, is that the Y height, I guess?
Yeah. I... Do you
Yeah,
remember I posted
I
some?
I know that's why you posted a reminder to all of us of what the axis is for
Yeah.
X, Y, Z
Yeah.
because I always forget. I confuse Z and X all the time.
Yeah,
Or
me
sorry,
also.
Z and Y. And even in coding I do sometimes. Like, why is it going that way?
Yeah.
Oh right, I gotta go up.
So
But
if someone knows a way to memorize this all the time, let us know, please.
print it out, put it on
Yeah.
your wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like that Max has those extra tools. I love those tools. I think at one point people were complaining that there would be too much numbers. Do you remember that? When Max was being
Hmm.
talked about, people were like, don't make it too complicated. We don't want that, this.
Yeah,
But
that
it's
could have been me
literally,
though. Yeah, but now I see it as
yeah,
an advantage actually. You when you
there you
use
go,
Max,
because
I
it
think
has,
when you use Max, I think you gotta get rid of the idea that you are using an improved version of GameGuru Classic. That's just not the case. Like
that's a good point.
rather think of it
So,
like using a new engine, and then you
yeah, that's a good analogy, or how would I say?
a point
Yeah,
of
it's a
view.
it's a new engine.
Yeah,
It is a new engine,
and you
really.
can set so many things in Max. Emissive textures. You can change all that on the fly, custom materials and all that shit. I
Yeah, I
was,
like.
it's so awesome. I was blown away when I discovered that I can have planar reflections on my floor. Like
Oh yeah.
wow, I've been using Reshade for this like 2 years, and wow, that was so cool. And I was like, okay, I'm going to stick with this and make some sort of project out of this. Yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I think like all those extra details they've added are really great, and the ability to import your objects, and I think there's more support for that too. So if
Much
you have
easier.
third
Yeah,
party, yeah.
it's much
So
easier.
it's
Yeah.
it's going in the right direction.
Mm?
Um, I was hoping the behaviors would be different though, because now they're just scripts, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
that's. I think it should be more related to like a behavior, if that makes sense. So it's like
You mean more like
you can
dynamic lure, right?
no,
No?
no, something different. Because like I know I'm a scripter, but I think for everyone and even myself, we like to do things in an easier fashion. So it's like if it's AI,
16
it's like okay,
times
what
the
does he
detail.
do? Kind of like Playmaker, I guess, is what I was thinking,
Mm-hmm.
or like a visual scripter, I guess.
Yeah, visual lure, right? Visual scripting.
Yeah, where it's like okay, so if this happens,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe this happens, and you can visually map that out. I thought it'd be something like that, but
Oh,
turned out just being yeah.
do you know that someone made a software of on Steam that has like a visual lure editor?
Oh yeah, I saw
I
that.
don't remember the name right now, but that's pretty
That's
cool
really
also. I
cool.
didn't get it, of course,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you have to know some lure to work with that.
Yeah.
But that's pretty interesting. People make so cool tools for GameGuru.
No, I agree. It's a yeah, there's a guy that like even like FPS creator, people have made engines or what do you call it? Like basic making their own tools for these engines, like
Mm,
graphics as well.
graphics, yeah.
I use some of his. He's
Asset manager is so cool. And menu creator,
yeah.
and Even Vishnu Packer for FPS Creator back in the day. Remember that?
Oh, is that to make your own installer?
Yeah. And
Oh, that's really
I
cool.
think it's also used for protecting the assets themselves. Because I think FPS Creator didn't have an encryption of the assets.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By
Yeah,
the
it's
way,
really cool to see.
GG Max and GG Classic currently don't have encryption either.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. This
Because
needs to be
I like
fixed.
to use my own models in my
Yeah, me also.
my
Yeah.
games. So, there's a lot of people that have my stuff out there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did that happen? I don't mind. I mean, I do to some extent. Again, it goes back to just let me credit me, right? Like just
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
it was T-Bone, but a lot of people come to me with help with something. I'm like, how did you get that?
Can you imagine there are people? I saw this a few days ago. A friend
Yeah.
was pointing me to this because I don't browse these sites, but a group of crackers, they uploaded my game somewhere multiple times.
God.
Even
Whoa,
Hunted can be downloaded for free. Yeah.
so how is that happening? Someone's
Yeah, I think they purchase the game on Steam and then they just upload it somewhere else.
wow,
Yeah.
and no Steam authentication on our games.
Yeah. That
Oh,
also.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, but honestly, it doesn't bother me like that much. But because once you get your stuff out there, it's gone, and you will never be able to fully grasp the intellectual property. So
Well, the good news is your name is out there.
yeah, that's true.
Because when Game of Thrones first came out, they said they didn't have a big deal with people cracking it at first, like watching it on streaming services illegally. They were just happy people were watching it in the beginning. But no, that sucks. Pirating is unfortunate thing that happens, and as long as people know that you've made it, I think that can be a good thing. Unless you're doing it for money, I guess, But it's good to get paid for your work because you put in a lot of time in these games you make.
Yeah, and they also cost me a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
BSP, I have given him contracts many times for custom weapons. I can't make all the guns myself.
It's amazing that he does that.
Yeah, and all the voice actors and people making AI. I won't talk about this one, but there's something really cool coming up.
That's cool.
When it comes to AI for GameGuru Classic, yeah, and
I noticed the quality of your games are improving a lot. I guess you did hire sound like vocal artists.
Yeah, from Fiverr.
That's awesome.
I think I have including myself, of course, and Wolf maybe, and Riley, see forever. I have 10 people voicing the whole game.
Oh, that's amazing.
Or maybe 7, I don't know exactly, but there's quite the cast going on.
Yeah.
And especially at the ending, they did a really cool job, I think. So there are some people out there that like to bash the voice actors for having that
cool.
Russian Ukrainian accent, But that's the intent, I wanted to be
exactly.
authentic, It was.
And it reminds me of Stalker.
Yeah. And in Stalker, the guys, they speak Russian or Ukrainian, and it adds so much to the atmosphere.
It does, because you feel like you're part of that region of people.
Absolutely, yeah.
I agree.
So I wanted
not just some American.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Discord servers again for the moment. Do you think the Discord servers are the reason why the traffic on the forums has been slowed down so much?
No, I don't, and people have said that, but the reason why it was made was because it was dying. If you remember, the forums were practically dead, and I was like, okay, if you write something, you got to wait till the next day or two for someone to respond like, yeah, it's like
good job.
in the year like 2020s, and everyone's using forums. Forums are great, but I think now that we have things like Discord and Slack and all these other live chat, you can talk to people like right away
Yeah,
in the
so
moment.
much
You don't have
faster.
to
Yeah.
wait. And I think that's really cool. And it's not fun having just DMs everywhere. Everything's private and, you
And
know,
so slow, sluggish.
yeah, and waiting for the notification or forgetting that you wrote to someone because they got bumped. I think
Yeah.
that was the worst part. People were saying is on the forums, and forums in general, any forums, you would write something and then, it would just get bumped down and then no one sees it. So you get no response,
Yeah.
or the person that wrote the first question didn't see the answer. So I think Discord was definitely not the reason why it fell off. I think people are using Discord now, like everywhere. I've seen the Unity forums, I've seen other forums. They're very slow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the big ones are very slow. So it's not just it's just a trend, right? People have shifted to Discord. And I think we did it pretty early on too.
Yeah,
And then
very
all of a sudden
early.
just
Right at the beginning
yeah,
of Discord, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it blew up in the game development scene. It's like, in fact, all those modding I was talking about, we have different channels for every single massive mod, and it's all developers that are approved by Nexus Mod. So Nexus Mod staff will go in there and approve everybody, and
Wow.
it's how we collaborate, and it's the best place to collaborate because you could share videos, you
Yeah.
could jump on the sound, you could share scripts, you could show screenshots, and I was like, this is a perfect place for GameGuru, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And originally, it was just a way to get us to all talk to each other because it was so hard to do that. Because I feel like I think this could be the case anywhere where it feels like you're being too moderated too, if that makes sense. I don't know how to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if it sounds like you're complaining too much, someone's going to step in and say, you're going to get banned or whatever. And
Yeah.
I think that actually happened. Someone threatened to ban me once, and
Yeah.
that didn't feel nice. So I was like, okay, I would rather be able to still be able to talk to the people, right? And not, because that was the weirdest thing. It felt like you couldn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
It's like only about certain topics in a certain tone. So
It feels very restricted. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and it's because it's there, it's public, and anyone could see that. It could hurt the product as well, right? So might as well just put it all private on Discord and talk about things there and actually make stuff again.
Yeah.
But no, so my opinion is I don't think it hurt it at all. I know some people disagree, but I think the trend is people move to Discord everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, anywhere there was a forum, anywhere, any community, they moved to the live chat.
Absolutely. Yeah. There are
Yeah.
music related Discords. I've been on
Wow.
photographer related Discord once also. All kinds of communities are getting Discord now. Yeah.
I was on one for Pokemon Go. I don't know what happened. It was like that was like World Peace 2016.
Oh wow.
Everyone in Toronto was getting together on Discord to find to say where something appeared.
Oh,
And we all
wow.
run outside with our phones and see each other. It was fun though.
Yeah.
I think Discord brings a little bit of humanity to
Yeah.
what was the forums. The forums is very dry.
Yeah.
And forums in general. I'm not saying that forum. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But
It's just words, a username, and then Discord. It's more. It's in your face, and you get real time responses.
more lively.
I type way too much though, because I'm terrible at, like I was saying earlier, expressing myself. So, like my thoughts in words.
Yeah.
But
I've gotten complaints in the past that I
too much?
no
You don't.
I write maybe a bit too fast. I
Oh,
shoot the words out like bam 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 bam, and I always press enter, and while
yeah.
other people are writing full sentences and then another one and then they press enter.
I find that you're very easy to communicate with. I think I'm very frustrating to communicate with because it's almost like dyslexia or something. I type like a million words.
Ah,
per
okay.
line.
Yeah.
And everyone's got to scroll through all that. So, and you know, that's one of the reasons why, like, I'm not going to be a mod for the Max channel.
Yeah.
I'm just going to set a bad example. So I actually asked them to demod me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a mod on Max. I was like, I'm not going to be, because I might say something that's more from the perspective of the customer of the product rather than, you know,
Yeah.
because when you're a mod, you have to, I
Represent
think you're
the.
basically, yeah, you're kind of representing the community. You're the first person people talk to when they get there. And I think with Classic, I always tried to be a little bit positive in the Discord when new people come. Don't want to
Yeah.
drive them away.
Yeah.
Overall, I think I've been positive. It's more about the when issues remain for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Like
Of course. Yeah. It's
that was it. And
nothing
do you
that's.
remember that day? It was like 6 of us or something on, or maybe 10 of us on Discord in the beginning. Very few number, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
slowly, like, someone would appear, and it's almost like a celebrity walking at the door. I was like, oh my god, it's Ivan.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
he came in, I was like, oh my god, we got the celebrities up in here.
Yeah.
Father's Island.
Yeah. Wow. By the way,
Into the ice.
Father's Island released not too long after Hunted. By the way,
That's right. I
they
don't know
came.
how you guys did that. It's so early on in the engine was so buggy
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
that time too.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a day when Lee and Rick appeared. Do you remember that? I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow. But they never said
I guess
anything. They were just silent observers, which was
I guess
unsettling at times.
it was because the Discord was so small, and it was like the safe place where people can just talk about anything. And we're all trying to make games, but also there's some criticism about the engine. But it's all meaningful criticism because it's us trying to use it, not
Yeah.
just bashing it in the background or something. So it
Yeah.
was kind of good that they appeared because it reminded us that they care about what's going on in the community
Yeah.
and what's being talked about. Or so that was funny though. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, you talk about celebrities walking in the doors. Like, here's the two guys.
That was cool. Yeah. And I really
yeah.
appreciate Lee for making the weekly streams. Like a
Yeah, he
few
doesn't
years
even have
back,
to do that. Yeah.
before GameGuru MAX appeared, it was really a lack of communication for many years. There wasn't happening much, and it really felt like TGC left us alone at some point. But
Yeah, that was
happily,
like,
that's no longer the case. I really like the podcast, the weekly broadcasts.
Yeah, I think they've really improved on not just how they do their products, but also the communication. And I think that's where Max is doing well. They're communicating a lot.
Yeah.
They have a really good people that are helping them. They have good scripters. They got good. They're reaching out to the community to make DLCs.
Yeah.
And they're being very transparent about that too for the first time.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, they're really bringing the community into what they're doing. And
Yeah, and they are really honest
really cool.
also.
And they're very honest too. They're not, and even Lee had said, he's like, I'm not going to say we're going to have this.
I like
And
that
then-
Lee sometimes says even, if you want this or that, go rather use Unity.
How many times I think I was told to go use Unity like 3 times, but I stuck around. But
Yeah.
no, it's good to say that, because if people are expecting too much of this little tiny engine run by very few people, they should go to the bigger ones if they have a problem with that, I think.
After all, it's all a niche product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a really good introduction to game development, I think.
Absolutely.
GameGuru. And look at even like Bugsy, he's working on that skateboarding game with
Oh yeah, that's
a
impressive.
company.
Yeah.
was it XL? I can't remember the name of it. Like, there's
Skater
people that have
XL,
come
yeah.
in. Yeah, Skater XL. And I heard about I have a friend that's in that game,
Oh wow.
which is really weird. He's a skateboarder from college. He's a pro skater from Toronto.
You do know a lot of
And
people,
it's-
don't you?
Toronto is a weird city. It's kind of like the Canada Hollywood, so yeah.
Cool. Oh
You meet a
wow.
lot of interesting people through here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool to see the places people have gone after they've used the game creators' products.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's and also for Ivan, he's working on
Yeah, and
Star
he's
Wars
making
now.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
So he was involved
I know.
in the Hitman, the newer
Oh
installments
yeah,
of the series. He was involved there,
that's right.
and also I think he worked on some of the Star Wars movies, the newer ones also.
Wow,
So
I could see that. Like his games are very narrative driven, and
yeah,
it shows that he's coming from a place of experience.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I will talk to him at one point also on
Oh,
GuruCast.
I would love to hear that. Yeah.
I'm actually
I
pretty
would.
scared of him, but I don't know.
You know why? It's because of that Father's Island.
Yeah,
It's like
maybe.
as soon
But
I, I I was watching someone play the game, and you turn a corner, and then his face appears
yeah,
on screen.
yeah,
His actual face.
yeah,
That was amazing.
yeah,
Like a real face appears in the game and starts talking to you.
yeah. And there are even
That's
German
amazing.
let's plays of Father's Island, and wow,
Oh
that was
my
such a
god.
blast to watch that. And
It's amazing.
so Ivan, that's pretty insane. I'm kind of scared of him, but he's been a supporter of mine since day one. He wrote
Yeah.
positive reviews on Steam for Hunted. He was one of the first, and also for Dark
Wow.
Skies on day one, I think, of early access release, which was in 2021. Yeah. So he's
Wow.
always been a really big supporter of mine. And he also sent me assets for Dark Skies at some point.
Oh,
Some,
cool.
some Russian posters I have in the game.
Hmm.
And also he was always really nice to me, in personal conversation. So I think
Awesome.
there's really no point for me for being scared of something like that. It's just
It's the video.
yeah. To me, he really feels like a celebrity.
Yeah, no, I get that feeling too. I think it's because I look up to various people within the community with such a high standard of, they come off very professional,
Yeah,
and
like Avenging
they
Eagle
create.
also. Yeah,
Yeah, him, he's a great example, and
yeah,
even when he produces like a small demo of something,
mm,
he presents it in a very professional way, and the way he
absolutely. Yeah,
speaks and the way he communicates within the community is very professional and very kind and
yeah,
supportive. And when he's critical, he's very professional in the way he says his thoughts, right?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Way more professional than I
Yeah,
am. I tend to be,
I'm definitely not.
I tend
I
to
do
be.
unfortunately have anxiety disorder, like I do. So sometimes I have to delete what I say after I say it.
Yeah, yeah. I know that
Like,
feeling.
oh,
Yeah,
didn't mean that. Yeah.
I know that feeling very well. Yeah. Mm.
But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of people in the community that feel like celebrities to me. So that was like Bugsy and Wolf. They're the reason why I'm still here
Mm.
because I saw their work. And then now what you're doing.
Yeah, that's really cool. Also, I get
Yeah.
comments on YouTube like
Yeah.
they say, "Oh wow, you are making these amazing levels," and they gave up on the engine and now they try it again.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like that's the biggest honor you can get, I think.
And you're very transparent about like using the engine. So like you tell people what engine you made the game in.
Mm.
And I thought that was very risky, but
Yeah,
it
but there's
seems
no
like
point in hiding that as well.
it's kind of a good thing in a sense that it shows what. Well, I guess it's kind of cheating saying this is what Game Guru Classic can do, but really it's not the case. It's only if you are you. So, I think because it comes with a lot of skill of being able to think creatively and create those environments and
Mm.
complete something. I always go back to that, the ability
Thank
to
you.
actually finish something,
Yeah.
because that is like the number one thing that I think I struggle with and many other people struggle with. So
Mm.
when I see a young person go in there, they've been there for 3 days in the Discord, they're like, I want to upload my game to Steam. And they just bought the engine for the first time, like that week. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
lot to learn, and they can learn a lot from you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you for this very lengthy talk. And
Oh, no problem. I don't even know how long it's been.
right now we are at 1 hour and 49 minutes.
Okay.
But that's also the beginning part, so it's about I think 140 now. So here's my last question. What are your goals for 2023 game development wise?
Get a new computer because mine died
Yeah.
just today. No, I think completing something. It's like that's probably going to be the theme of this interview. I think with that you have with me because um, I've been making games for a long time that are incomplete since, like I said, the early '90s. Really, um, I did finish games back then, by the way, in DOS.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I could probably find them too, though they're probably very embarrassing. I think one's called like Union Town, I think.
Okay.
But either way, I think completing something would be really cool, even if no one plays it.
Oh, I
If
will
that
be
even
sure there
makes
will be
sense.
some people playing it.
Um, so I don't know if that's going to be the dungeon crawler or the third-person horror game.
Uh,
Maybe one of those.
Personally, I prefer the third-person horror game, but
Yeah, not many people want to play the dungeon crawler because it's very niche.
yeah,
But I do have a community that is looking forward to that
I
one.
played this also, and I think it's really cool though. But it's just not my,
Yeah, no.
it's not the game I would normally play.
Yeah, it's too the reason why I started working on that game was because of the limitations of GameGuru Classic at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like real-time combat didn't really like melee combat didn't really look that good to me. So
Yeah. Still doesn't, but yeah.
so I did try doing like a open world-ish real-time combat RPG game recently in Classic.
Mm-hmm.
I might even continue on that, but I think for completing something, it would probably be the third-person game.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, and if not, maybe I'll make something new in Max. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like that's the direction of things now, right?
Yeah, I was neglecting this for a long time, but I can't deny it anymore. I think Max is the way to go at this point, and all classic will always have a very special place in my heart, and I will of course still use it. But right now I'm with Max, and I'm having a blast. So
That's awesome to hear.
if if I were told that I would have said this just now a few weeks ago, I would have
Weeks
called
ago, yeah.
yeah I would have called them crazy. But that's part of being a human, change your mind and change your opinion, and that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, man. Thanks so
All
much
right,
for being a part of this podcast. It's been an amazing
no
talk.
problem. Happy belated, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Wow. I wish all the best for you and your projects, and I hope you get to be on the contest as well.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll jump on one of those contests. Then I can finish something for the first time in my life.
Aw.
They look fun too. I really do like the themes are kind of fun, and I think
Yeah,
everyone should.
I can't describe how much fun I had with these streams, even rewatching them. Sometimes when I make levels, I'm rewatching those streams, in the background, and I keep laughing at the same timestamps and all that. It's been such a blast last year. And this year, our streamer Mipasto is currently overseas during his job, and he will be back in I think April or May, and then we will be having contests again.
Okay, I'll probably join. Will that be in Max or Classic though?
I think we had no restrictions lately. We have been streaming Unreal Engine games, even the easy FPS editor.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so no limitations at all. Like you can do what you want basically.
Sounds fun.
Okay, so thanks to the listeners for staying with us so long. And yeah, thanks to you, T, and thanks for being a friend to me also. We chatted many times, also with very private stuff. And
Yeah, very funny stuff sometimes.
that also, yeah. And I just hope you get to fix your PC very soon again.
we'll do, because I think you probably want me to go play Stalker.
I was. For how long did I say this to you?
It's an inside joke. No one will get it. But
yeah.
Anytime my name appeared on the Discord, did you play Stalker? Go play Stalker.
Yeah.
Did you play Stalker yet?
I think that was at the beginning where I made Dark Skies. I wanted T to understand why I'm making Dark Skies. Yeah. And I kept saying this. And you really did it at one point. I was so excited.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and play that. What a fun game.
Yeah, it's really cool. Okay, man.
All
Thanks so much for being here. It was a really cool episode and very fun to talk to you, actually. And
we'll talk again.
Awesome. At one point, I really want to make, sort of a panel, where we all get to talk in one session. So
cool.
Maybe that happens. It would be cool to have you on there or as well. So
yeah, that'd be
but
cool.
that's off into the future. So thanks again, everyone, and I say goodbye. This was GuruCast episode 3 with T-Bone. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope to see you next time. Take care, everyone.